So I continue to read in the book of Yashar, Jasher, Yashar being short for Yashar El, one who contends with God, which they changed to Israel. The reason God hid his name. It wasn't a conspiracy amongst people. God said, I will take my name out of your mouth. The Israelites would only say it once a year, and then they would only say it once every 7 years, because they began to understand not everybody should call on that name. Why? We have a prime example in the book of Yashar. Sepho, a descendant of Esau or Esau, was taken captive by the sons of Jacob. Because when Jacob's children and all of Egypt went to bury Jacob in the tomb at Machpelah, Esau's came to mourn him as well. But then he got it in his head, I'm going to take this land. He had already chosen. That was another thing. Every once in a while, over the past few years, I would keep getting like an understanding about my inheritance. I've come into my inheritance. So I'm like, what? Do I have a wealthy relative? Am I going to get something out of the blue? What does this mean? In the book of Yashar, we get what it means. When their father died, Yitzhak, or Isaac, Yaakov gave his brother, Jacob gave Esau or Esau, his brother, a choice. Do you want all the cattle, the treasures, and all that, or do you want the land? And Esau chose the treasures. He's going to go live in Seir. He's fine up there with these other people. So that's how Jacob inherited the land. And they signed papers agreeing to this, sealed it in a jar, and put it someplace safe, because it was in perpetuity. It was forever. I inherit the land, and my descendants occupy it forever. So when Jacob died, his children and all of Egypt are going to bury him, and Esau says, oh, well, they weren't there when we made this deal, so I'm going to take over the land. I'm going to stop this. And so they went to war, they fought. That's how Esau died. But they took some of Esau's descendants captive back with them into Egypt. Well, this guy got free, and after working for the king in Africa, he then went and back to the children of Esau and became a king up there. And he was threatened by a larger force of people, and his people said, well, wasn't the God of your ancestors, wasn't he mightier than all the rest? And Sepho says, okay, yeah, I'll pray to him. So he prays to God on the basis of Isaac and Abraham, the covenant made, because God said, anybody who repents and calls on my name, I will be there for them. And so that's why his name was taken, because this dude called on him, God acted on his behalf, gave him, a mighty win. Well, he got it all up in his head that he's so mighty, so he's going to go against the children of Jacob again. But in between that win in this new battle, he doesn't call on God again, and he just joins all the other people in worshiping other gods. So, no, God doesn't give him that win. And that's why when his son came, and in the first century, he said, I have made your name known amongst those that you've given me. And other than that, the name is lost. It's disappeared on purpose. Like his son said, they talk in parables. They don't come outright, because then God will have to fulfill his part of the covenant. If they repent and they're all scared and ashamed and so sad, so sorry, and call on God's name, he has to act on their behalf. And then they're just going to abandon them. They're going to go back to their unrighteousness. They're going to go back to giving credit to other gods. And that's not what God wants. That's not what any of us wants. Oh, I'm only your friend when you need me. And then you turn your back on me. You betray me. And how did the Egyptians become slaves? Well, the book of Yashar explains that. Because they were afraid that enemies would come upon them, and the Israelites would turn against them. And we gotta make them small. They had already betrayed the Israelites in a war. They said, we're going up against these people, because Sepho was coming against them. And they're like, but you stay back, because they're afraid that in the midst of the battle, the Israelites are going to betray them, because it's their kin that Egypt is fighting against. And this is the battle that Sepho loses. But then the Israelites come in and save the day, and the Egyptians left them to fight the battle on their own. So of course the Egyptians get mad and turn on the Israelites get mad, turn on the Egyptians. So the Egyptians are like, these are a mighty people, we're scared of them. So by command of the king, so a generation had passed. All of Jacob's sons die. And so it's forgotten. It only takes one generation to pass away. And untruth can sneak in. So they tell the Israelites, well, because of these other people that we just went to war with, we have to fortify these cities. So we're all going to go work at the cities. Everybody's got to go, and you'll get paid every day, your daily wage. But the plan was that while the Egyptians are working, or while the Israelites are working, the Egyptians are going to slowly stop working. And then when all the Egyptians stop working, they'll stop paying the Israelites, and the Israelites will be so tired they wouldn't have been at home with their wives producing babies, becoming greater in number, and so then they could oppress them. But Levi, the tribes, the descendants of Levi, they decided not. They said, no, that's a scam. They're deceiving us. And so they didn't go and help build. So that's where I read up to, was how they got entrapped into being slaves. And we see that, like in the United States, generation after generation. When it came to the Social Security card, the people are like, no, don't do it, it's not going to be there for you, they're lying, it's only a way to control you and take your money. But people are like, no, we want the security. And it is exactly like the people who warned them, the conspiracy nuts. And it continues. People are too tired, they're too frustrated, they're too exhausted, they're too confused. They just, at the end of the day, they want to go home. They don't care. Take everything but them. Just let them go home and relax at the end of the day. It repeats itself. And if people like me had this information when we were younger and we were being raised Christian, we would have known that these deceptions exist in the hearts of other people. And there are so many situations I could have gotten myself out of, like reading about Tina, and that men would actually mutilate their bodies to get what they want, but out of vengeance for making them do that. And I see it clearly in the men that I've dealt with, and I'm like, they're just so sick in the head. But I didn't have the affirmation, I didn't have the validation. Oh, it's all just your imagination. Oh no, this is righteous, this is true. Oh, you're the evil one. Don't compromise. Don't fall for it. But of course, now I'm in a system where I can't go off onto my own piece of land, fend for myself, and say, just leave me alone. No. And I don't have numbers behind me. I don't have an army of children who love me that are going to stand up and defend me, that God could bestow miraculous strength upon. And this is why they eroded the family. And the way that the elite families, the ones with the power, have the closeness, the loyalty, is by cruelty. They don't bind through love. Love gives a choice. Cruelty does not. Their families don't have a choice. They've been disassociated. Somebody just comes up, makes the right hand sign, says the right words, shows the right picture, and that person's brain is snapped, and they're a winter soldier. And in the meantime, anybody who knows about love and faithfulness and justice is abandoned. They can't snap their fingers, but they can pray to God. And He controls hearts and minds. And people talk about NPCs, non-player characters, like a lot of human beings are that. When you give up your free will, that is what you become. And God can use people as NPCs. If He has the intention to bless you and for you to do well, the people around you will love you. The key is, don't put your faith in them loving you, because they're just channeling God's love to you. You put your faith in that love from God that is being shown to you. Huge lessons sealed up until this day, so that we can rise and be preserved. It's just incredible. Absolutely incredible. And these are those days. They are these. We already know that most channels, the people are there. And if they're AI made especially, they're there to provoke you, to make you react and get caught up. And so, you'll see Oh, hit the like and subscribe button. I know you, so many percent of you people aren't subscribed, blah, blah, blah. They're provoking you. They're instigating you. They're making you feel guilty. Oh, do you want more of this content? Like, no, not really. I'm just watching it to keep myself informed. I'm not watching it because I want this stuff going on in my world. But other people are like, oh, guilt. Oh, I gotta do that. Oh, I gotta do that. No. God will give me the wisdom, insight, the dance moves to move without getting overcome. He's good at that. I have experience. So, yes. Oh, and that Cepho dude went looking for one of his cattle. He found it in a cave, being devoured by something that's bottom half was animal and top half was human. And he killed it, and he was a hero. Yay! You know, he saved us from that thing that's been eating all our cattle. Cryptids. Yeah. And if people don't believe that they're there, oh, when they come across them, they can't defend themselves because they're struggling with the idea that this is real. They don't even believe what they've seen. And then other people don't believe them, and of course plants are put in the community to say, there's no such thing, I have scientific proof. What a time. What a time. But our Creator arms us. Make sure we get the information. And never sooner than we need it. So we can't back out. We can't become too afraid. But it's all there if we're brave enough and willing to see it. Yeah, it wasn't a conspiracy. God hid his name.